Wow.
Not a bad week to have the best week of your life.
I would have done this for free, boys. I tell you what,
Exactly.
that's what's crazy, that I actually got paid to do this.
Four players of Barstool Sports. We got a very we don't do this very often. We got a special mini show, and that's because we got the block party on the show. We got to put them out. We can't wait till the Thursday to put the block party out. Come on.
Michael Block is on Foreplay. Everyone asked for it, and he delivered. The guy is exactly what you want him to be. He's humble, he's hilarious, and he's also a really fucking good golfer. Like the guy, kind of deserves to have what he deserves. What happened to him? You know what I mean? Like he's been waiting for that, and it was really cool to talk to him. He's got a big week coming up. He's got a couple big tournaments coming up now. He's obviously in the PGA next year. So being able to talk to him was great. It's definitely worthy of our first mini episode. I mean, we do sometimes, like when Tiger news will drop, we'll do it on the Sunday. After a major, we do it on a Sunday. This is coming out tonight, Monday night, Tuesday. We're just putting out podcasts. It's the Michael Block Party show.
We have to put it out. We have to do it. We can't wait till Thursday. He's hot right now, hot in the streets. Great guy. I can't believe he joined us this morning. He had the energy. He went through the whole thing, the Ace, Rory, Brooks, everything. So huge Michael Block fans, huge Chevy fans. We got to thank Chevy. They're with us throughout the entire year. They're our presenting sponsor, that iconic bow tie mixed with the EV, the all-electric. They did it. They figured it out. They got that iconic line of Chevys that you've heard of, that you love, from the Silverado, the Blazer. I think I'm going to get a Blazer. I really like the Chevy Blazers. I'm an SUV kind of guy, sports utility vehicle kind of guy. But they got the Bolt EUV. And then all the other. They got Suburbans. They got all kinds of great stuff at Chevy. Check out that Silverado EV. Go to Chevy.com. All electric Chevy, the Silverados, the other brands that you love, the other models that you love. It's Chevrolet. We just know Chevrolet at this point. We've known them insanely well for years and years and years, decades. Now they're all electric, mixing it all up in the best way possible. So shout out to Chevrolet. 4.5 seconds. I think the Chevy Silverado EV goes 0 to 60 in under 4.5 seconds. You put that thing in wow mode. It's got the infotainment system. It goes like 400 miles, I think, on a single charge. So it's great. Chevy.com. Go check out a bunch of their styles. You're going to end up falling in love. Just go to that website, Chevy.com. All right. Without further ado, here is, by insanely popular demand, Mr. Michael Block. There he is.
What's up, guys?
The Block Party. What's up?
Hey, it's all good. How you guys doing?
We're doing great, man. We're doing great. We really appreciate you joining us.
No problem. It's my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
How's everything with you? How was last night?
Dude, I don't know if you saw the posting. We were just sitting there singing, dancing, having a couple glasses of wine, a lot of pizza, and it was a great night. And finally at midnight, I'm like, I just got to go to bed because I knew it was going to be a long day today. And got in bed at midnight and woke up early, and here we are.
Yeah, they kind of hit us with like Michael Block's going to do 9:30 a.m. And I was like, I don't know if that guy's going to be ready for 9:30 a.m.
I know I've already been here for like an hour and a half too. So yeah, it's good though. I do this any day.
I got to tell you, I had, we do this a lot. We've been doing this for 7 years. We've done like 600 shows. I've never had as many messages saying, you got to have X person on the podcast this week, or I'm refusing to follow you guys for the rest of my life, than Michael Block. So you're just you're the star right now.
That makes me feel good. It's so surreal. I mean, I'm a club pro, right? And normal dude, back to the range, giving lessons, doing payroll, doing tournament futures reports and stuff like that. So here I am, living a dream, and I'm going to try to enjoy it as much as I possibly can at this point.
It's incredible. You just got the call for Charles Schwab also. So this run's going to continue. I mean, it feels like one of those miracle runs. But last night, as I was sitting back and thinking about it, we recorded yesterday, I was thinking like, this guy has it in him. You obviously did it. You shot 73 days in a row. You're finishing in a position to now play in the PGA next year. You obviously know that you have that in you, right? And I mean, you're 46 years old. You've probably had that in you for a long time. What is it about? Like, how does this all just like come out right now? Does it feel like this has been inside you for a long, long time, that like you could have played with these guys, you can beat these guys out there? Like, what was that feeling like, being able to actually perform on that level? Like, finally.
The first time really, honestly, was last year, second round at Southern Hills in the PGA Championship.
Mm-hmm.
It was howling. It was like 30 miles an hour out there, and the course was playing very difficult. And I shot a 73, having Tiger's group was either right behind me or in front of me. So it was 10 people deep on every single hole at Southern Hills for my entire round. And I shot that 73, And my general manager even goes, you're no longer a club pro. He goes, I saw something today. Something's different. And then I was able to shoot a 65 in the first round this year at the American Express. So I was in 7th place after the first round. Then I ended up missing the cut by, I think, 2. And then I shot a 73 on the South course at Torrey Pines in the Farmers the second round. And it was once again a 30-mile-an-hour wind, and Torrey South's insane. And so the game's been trending in the right direction, and I've gained confidence with a couple things. Mainly, I'm not afraid of the guys out here. I know most of them now by name. So yeah, it's not that awe thing I used to have. And I mean, yeah, if I carried the ball as long as Rory does, or Peck, if I carried the ball even just 300 yards, I could easily be out here. But the fact is, I need firm fairways. I need shorter courses. I need stuff like that. It was really tough on Saturday when it was raining because this place was hot and fast. Those first 2 days, the fairways were just humming. I could hang with anybody because I'm just hitting those beaters, right? And because I only carry like 275, maybe 280 max if I try to launch it. So it's hard to hang with these guys on a really big track like a Torrey Pines or something like that. But I'm lucky enough to be going to the Charles Schwab Challenge now. They're nice enough to give me an invitation. I got that call last night, and from everything I've heard, that's actually going to be a good setup for my game, I think.
Frankie, I got to give Frankie credit because Frankie was really defending you yesterday because it almost like the narrative, he's making a good point that the narrative of like, holy shit, we're crying for this guy. He's out there playing. And Frankie's like, well, he's a human being, like guy, like Rory. He's a person. He's got arms and legs. Like, of course, it's like he probably believes that he's out there and could play golf just like these other guys. And it probably in his brain, you were so cool about being reflective in real time about how this is going to be as good as it gets and all that. But also in your brain, you're probably like, I've believed for 20, 30 years of my life that I can do this. So I'm out here doing this.
Yeah. I mean, I've been pretty successful on like the club pro scene most of my life. And it's finally just kind of transferring over in that confidence. It's just confidence. You guys play golf. Golf's all about confidence. And if you have confidence and you believe in yourself and you believe in your game and you don't try to be somebody else when you're trying to hit a shot, don't try the hero shot type of thing. I just played my game. I'm okay with carrying at 270, being the slow. I have no doubt I had the slowest club head speed by probably 3-5 miles an hour this week. No doubt about it. But I have a really hot putter that felt great on these greens. They were so good. The greens were so good.
There was I did a series with this golf mental coach, Dr. Brett McCabe, and he really talked to me about because I had the yips like crazy, and he talked to me about like talking through your shot and really thinking about everything. And he messaged me the other day, and he was saying that those walk and talks that CBS does, it's kind of like similar to what he's been preaching of like walking through your shot, talking it out, and then actually executing it. And if you see all the guys that have done that walk and talk, they're all making birdies on it. Like they're actually they're getting the ball in the hole. You played a perfect hole, walking through it, talking to Trev and all those guys in the booth. Like, did you feel like that helped you kind of like really get through? Is that what your process is every single time, or did you talk it out more on that hole specifically?
No, I do it, every single shot, every single hole. That's the huge thing, having John, my caddy, on the bag. A good caddy is going to walk you through it, make sure you don't walk too fast, make sure you're not thinking about the wrong things. John was singing to me in the rain. I mean, it was funny. We're walking out, and he's doing everything in the world. I could kind of tell, but he was so awesome. He's doing everything in the world during the tournament, talking in between shots, no golf, no thoughts about anything. And we're talking about basketball games and everything else, everything but golf. It was really cool. But then as soon as you get there, you got to walk through the process, and it's there's something to it. What you're talking about, your brain. I feel what you're saying. Only positive thoughts are happening, and the negatives start going away. So if you have positive thoughts, it's hard to have a positive and a negative thought at the same time. Correct. So if you can just have that positive thought and you can keep that in there and not let those little golf demons jump on you, which they want to so badly. I hoselled it the second round. I'm coming down the last 9 holes, and I'm just like, dude, just get in. I wanted to be a low club pro. That was my big goal. Just make the cut. And all of a sudden, bam! I'm like, what? Here I'm playing some great golf, and out of nowhere, it hits the heel and it goes into a tree. I make the worst double in the world, embarrassing double to say the least. And I had to did I ever have to put on my cap on that one is like, and just grind those next 5 holes and forget about it. I didn't forget about it. Trust me, it was in my head, but man, it was brutal.
I was most impressed. There's so many moments that we're going to talk about, but I was most impressed with how you just kept it going because it's one of those stories. This isn't a guy who does this week in and week out. You're saying a lot of weeks you hit one bucket of balls and you're giving lessons and you're running a club and there's so much that goes into that. Anybody that's in golf understands that the demands, the relationships with everybody at the club. There's all tournaments and drama, and complaints, and everything that you're dealing with all the time. And then you're out there for really 6-7 days that it is. I know it's 4 tournament rounds, but the practice rounds, everything else. And I think a lot of people were kind of thinking like, all right, the Cinderella story, like, oh, he put up 1 good round. He put up 2 good rounds. And then it was like, put up 3 good rounds, 1 in the rain, which didn't suit you. Like now he's playing with Rory McIlroy. And then you delivered the most heroics after that. Like, was it hard to keep it going?
I thank God there wasn't a 5th day. I'll tell you that, I mean, I was just talking to somebody here not too long ago about it. It's, I was just waiting for when is it, this streak going to kind of, have a bad day, right? I mean, I played golf long enough where it's hard to have multiple good rounds in a row, right? What you're referring to. But yeah, I'm out there, I'm going, dude, just knuckles down. But if Rory was fantastic and Justin Rose on Saturday were absolutely fantastic. And I read some things where people thought I was going to choke, on Saturday and Sunday playing, especially with Rory. But I think because they were so gracious with their time and so nice to me, it really helped tremendously to finish it off, along with the Rochester fans who were supporting me like I was a superhero, which I'm just a normal guy.
Yeah, how was I know obviously everybody focused on Rory. He's probably the biggest megastar in the game on Sunday, but yeah, that Justin Rose, I mean, major champ, absolute stud, Ryder Cup badass for years and years and years. He's up there as well. We've had both of them. We've spent time with both of them. Insanely nice guys. Start with Rose. How was that sort of? Because now, like you say, you go from Thursday, Friday, it's threesomes. It's kind of everyone's teeing off all over the place. Now it's pretty tight. It's pretty narrow focus. It's 2 guys. It's Justin Rose and you. How was that kind of chatter and the relationship, the conversation, the whole 4 hours or whatever it was on Saturday?
Yeah, and the crazy part, the toughest part, honestly, is they were both late tee times in the day. So I'm sitting around. I had a 2:10 on Saturday and a 2:00 on Sunday. So I'm just sitting around, trying to do anything but think about what's going to be transpiring later in the day, right? I'm trying to not watch. Everyone in the house has on the TV, is watching the coverage in the morning, and I'm just going, I was trying to roll around. I tried to do anything but. So, the way they are, Justin, it felt like he took me under his wing, and that's kind of what Paul McGinley said on coverage too, and he did. We're just talking family, we're just talking sports. They were unbelievable, and they're unbelievable golfers as well, man. Rory, have you guys seen Rory hit a shot live?
It's amazing.
It's unbelievable. His ball flight. I mean,
disgusting.
I hit a 4-iron on a par 3. I think he hit an 8-iron. And when he hit the 8-iron, I mean, here's my 4-iron launch, right? And he's got this. And my caddy and I go, oh my God. I mean, this 8-iron, it looked like me hitting a lob wedge, and it was like 190 yards. And he just lands it on the green like, a butterfly with sore feet. I mean, it's crazy. Having that game is unbelievable, man. If that guy just rolls the rock, how does he not win every time?
Great.
Yeah. That's got to be. I mean, just being in there. When Rory, so Sunday when you're you got to wait around all day, which you guys 3rd or 4th last tee time. I couldn't believe how long it still was, since it's 2:00 or whatever it was before you guys finally tee off. They showed the clip of you two, you and Rory hitting balls on the range. You're obviously hyped up. It's one of the bigger round of your life. Now you're playing with the biggest, megastar maybe in the game currently. When did you first talk to him? Did you guys talk on the range? Did you not talk to him until the first tee? What was the chatter like?
Yeah, so they call me and tell me that Netflix is going to be following me for the.
Oh wow!
And so I'm like, oh yeah, this is just add that on too, right? And
Jeez,
so
what an episode that's going to be! Holy waterworks, my God! That's going to be the best.
The second I turn into the locker room, there's Netflix and there's Rory, and he comes up to me and introduces himself to me right there in the locker room, and so that was really cool, and yeah, he was awesome.
That's going to be incredible, dude. You know what I loved about what you were saying is like, and I say this all the time on the podcast, like we do a lot of things here at Barstool that are really cool moments, and sometimes you have to pinch yourself. Like for me, I'm a huge hockey guy, and like I'm watching Islander games with my dad, and like I'm filming all these things. We have all these fans, and I have my arm around my dad, and it's these moments that like I'm able to kind of take a step away and be like, when I'm 60, 70 years old, those are going to be the pictures you look back on, like what you said, where you're like, that was the greatest fucking week of my life. That was it right there. And you were able to see that in real time. And you're obviously an emotional guy. I'm an emotional guy. I cry every time. I can cry if someone hits a nice note on American Idol. It's crazy. But how were you able to kind of keep that in? Was it your caddy? Was it like your family? Like, how were you able to just like understand how big that moment was, but still go on? Because for me, I think that would be a hurdle that I don't know if I'd be able to go over it. I have a wedding coming up. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get through it without crying the whole entire time. I'm like nervous about it.
I mean, I choked up so many. I mean, I would choke up watching a replay on my Instagram or something like that. I would choke up watching. I mean, I'm walking down the fairway choking up. There's Rory walking in front of me. There's the crowd chanting block, block, block. I mean, they're all chanting with thousands of people. And I mean, I'm glad they couldn't see it, but I'm just sitting there going, I couldn't even talk.
But how are you hitting a golf shot then?
I know, this is the middle of the tournament. And then I was able to focus. That was the biggest part about it. For some reason, I was able to put on, the blinders for that, split second of me hitting a shot. And then I just got to enjoy it after that. But yeah, I'm old enough now where I understand how much, like you're talking about, enjoying the moment. I've definitely learned how to do that. And thank God I did. I've learned it by now because, man, this week was unreal. I mean, everyone in the world should just keep going after their dreams because it can happen. It's 100%.
Well, aside from you making your own dreams happen, you're now kind of like that leader of your like domain, the PGA pros. Like you are the guy that they can look up to and be like, we can all do that. I know like the club pros at my club and like all these guys, they were rooting you on as you were their guy. You were their horse in the race. And that is so fucking cool for you to be that guy, you to like hold that torch for them and show everyone like we can do this. Cause like I said last show, you are a human with arms and legs and you're a fucking good golfer. You like win your section like every single year in Southern California. You're a dominating golfer. It's just like, there's so many guys like that are out there that we don't realize how fucking hard this game is, that Michael Block had to be like a miracle story to go out there and play with Rory McIlroy, even though he's a phenomenal golfer. It shows the levels of how fucking hard this game actually is, man. That's crazy to me.
Well, I'll tell you what, if anyone would just come and watch me hit balls, I'll give them all hope because it's nothing special. There's so many guys that are in the PGA program out there that are better than me, that hit it better than I do, hit it 10 times longer than I do. So yeah, there's probably, I don't know, there's 100 guys that can beat me day in, day out, and we just trade punches. And there's a couple great players in my section even. There's probably 6 players in my section that could beat me today, so that obviously shows them and everyone else the fact that, they could be here. They could be at the PGA Championship next year and do better than I did, hopefully.
That's insane. Yeah, it's just crazy. It speaks a lot about the game too, how many different ways there are to play it. And I know that's probably a big part of your job. It's a big part of giving lessons. It's teaching people you don't have to be Rory. You don't have to. In fact, you can't be Rory. You just can't move your body like that. You can't swing it like that. You got to Arnold Palmer it, swing your swing. Like that's the game of golf. There's a million different ways to get the ball in the hole. Stick to what you're good at, think your way through it. And you obviously were able to do that. And speaking of think your way through it, talk your way through it, I got to have you talk your way through the ace on 15. Were
you guys watching?
Oh yeah.
You had no clue.
I had no idea. And Rory turns around and he comes back at me and he's got his arms open. He's about to give me a hug. And I'm like, what the hell is he doing? And he goes, it went in the hole. I go, you kidding me? I mean, you might hear it on the television cover, but I'm like, no. I'm like, no chance. And he's like, yeah, it did. And I'm like, I had to hear it from like 10 people before I even believed it. Like I'm walking down, I'm like, really? I'm like, I still am not believing. I mean, I walked up on the green, I'm like thinking where's the ball? And I saw that it blew off the front of the cup. And when I just watched the replay last night, man, it's just, darts right in that hole. I mean, it's unbelievable. And that stage right there, with all the tents and everything else, the fans were all out, and it was like hitting a grand slam in the World Series,
Dude.
with a full at Yankee Stadium. And that's the coolest thing, that we have this opportunity. You're talking about PGA members, is legitimately, like, if you're a good soccer player, you're not going to go play against Messi, right? Or if you're you're really good, on your softball, your softball team, you're like, the Yankees aren't going to call you and be like, hey, do you want to try out next week and come play in the World Series? The cool thing is that as a PGA member, we have that opportunity to go from being just normal guy working in your day job to being in the World Series or the NBA Finals or whatever it might be the next week. And then that gives you the opportunity to just go play golf and shoot a couple 70s and see what happens. And it happened for me. And I'm thrilled, and I hope that it makes it happen for a lot of people out there.
Yeah, I think that's probably the coolest part of the whole thing, is that, yeah, obviously you're playing Colonial, but then the week after that or whenever it is, you'll be staging a golf tournament. You'll be telling Billy and Nick that they're starting on hole 7A, and like, you guys are going to need to listen to like, that's great. That's so great.
It'll be different. It'll be cool, but yeah, it's still going to be just myself and another member on the back of the range. It's the two of us talking golf, and I'm sure the next couple lessons are going to be more just about the experience than even me teaching them anything about their swing. But reality will, it's coming. I'll be back to my normal stuff, and I look forward to it. I love my job. I love going to work. I love going to my club. I just love golf in general. So I'm happy no matter whether I'm in a tour event or at the club. I'm happy.
I think reality is going to set in for the members that price might start to skyrocket now. We got a guy in the PGA Championship. He's on Netflix now, raking in the dough. You had a nice payout this week, which was fucking awesome to be able to see that a guy was like $228,000, where it's like, are you kidding me, Michael Block? That is just like, whenever you see like an amateur go up, it's always that thing that you're like, he's just not going to make any money, which is just such a shame, right? Like, you saw like Bennett was making that run, and you're like, he's just not going to make any money. For you, it was like every putt that was going in was like that cha-ching, ka-ching, like, just stay there, man. I was looking at the payout, watching where you were, like, come on, dude. That up and down was huge.
I never looked at the payouts. I wanted to. After I made the cut, I'm like, what's last place? I mean, that's my first thought. What's last place?
What was last place? Just to
I know. I still don't know. I'm guessing it's probably like $20,000 or something like that.
It's 25.
It's 25.
Suzuki Higo, who was leading the tournament.
I remember he was on fire.
Dude, he was 4 under
fire. Birdied like every hole.
Dude, he's like this tall. I saw him on the putting green. I was like, oh my gosh. And then he was 4 under through 5 or whatever it was. But yeah, I didn't look at it. I was trying not to think. I mean, those last couple holes, I'm just trying to save par. I was trying to get state even par was my whole deal. And I was trying not to think about, like, I know that last putt was worth, I don't even know at this point, but that last putt had been worth, I don't know, $50,000.
It was worth about almost like $70,000, I think.
$70,000.
That's a joke.
Yeah. $288,333 for T15, and then T18th, Mito Pereira, Xander Schauffele, Minwoo Lee, Patrick Reed, Tommy Fleetwood. You beat all those guys, by the way. $214,400.
Not a bad week to have the best week of your life.
Wow. I would have done this for free, boys.
Exactly. Some sick people out there would have paid that money just for that experience. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of guys out there that would just put up as much money as they could just to play with Rory at the PGA. Are you kidding me?
That's what's crazy, that I actually got paid to do this.
Right. That's amazing.
How was so the ceremony yesterday with or last night, I guess, with Brooks Koepka? You're up there. I know that was your big goal going in. You're like, I just want to finish low club pro. You literally said, like, I just want to be in that ceremony with whoever wins the tournament. How was that whole thing? It's kind of a cool little deal where it's like you guys are both celebrating. You guys both had a victorious week together.
Yeah, and I'd never met Brooks in my life before. He's a very intimidating human. I've played in a lot of tournaments with him, and he walks out down the range, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, that guy's a beast. And we had never talked or anything, and so I had no idea how he was, and I don't judge anybody anymore until I meet him. And so I'm walking back towards 18 green, and all of a sudden I can see the surge coming. He just finished on 18, and he's walking. So we're walking towards each other in between the big crowd, and he just goes, looks like drinks are on you, and he comes over and gives me a big hug. And I was like, that was cool. And so then we go down, we hung out a lot during the ceremony, and him and his friends were just awesome. They're just awesome. I could definitely be hanging with Brooksy and having a couple of cocktails with him. I know.
That's awesome. That's so cool, man. Yeah, I was looking at a bunch of the pictures of you guys smiling and holding the trophies up together, and I was like, very rarely in a tournament do you see where like there's two. It's kind of like two champions, really. It was like Michael Block you were unbelievably happy. It went as well as you could go. You got an ace. You played with Rory. You finished T15. You're in next year, the whole deal. And then there's Brooks Koepka, who won a major, and you guys are both like, hey, we did it.
Yeah, I won my major. That was definitely my major. That's for sure. I won't count as a full major, but I'm definitely counting that as a major for me.
I mean, How crazy is it? We were talking yesterday, like Brooks, sneaky, his career right now, 5 majors, and he was 33 years old. I mean, I said, is he the greatest golfer of my generation? I mean, obviously Rory has a bunch of tour wins, all the money in the world, but this guy has 5 majors. It's really, you can't stack up his career against anyone that he's playing against because no one turns on the switch like that. He's a closer.
He's a big ballpark player is what he is in my mind. He's got the game for these big ballparks. I mean, when you come out to these majors and these tournaments, it's just a whole nother animal compared to your local country club. It's just everything's bigger. The property's bigger. The holes are bigger. I mean, par 4s are 5 of 10. And the rough is 6 inches deep. I mean, you got to be a beast, right? And he is. And yeah, he's going to win. He's going to win as long as he stays healthy. I mean, like I said, he's won 5 majors and he's been injured a lot. You know, he's had a lot of surgeries, and I know he's been injured, and he still has 5. And I wouldn't be surprised if he gets another 5 by the end of his career.
I like they were talking a lot about how intimidating he is on the coverage last night, and that's a really good point that I think a lot of people probably don't really realize if you're not there, is that, you know, it's pretty intimate on the range, on the practice green, in the locker room. You guys are all walking around each other, and that guy with the biceps and the look, and he pretty much sticks to himself, it feels like, during majors. Like he's kind of going for that Tiger-esque. Like, there's very few golfers that really intimidate people.
That's exactly what I was going to say, actually. He reminds me of Tiger back in the day. Not the new Tiger, you know, who talks and is super cordial to everyone now, but the old Tiger that, you know, his dad said, you're not friends with these guys, you're going to go beat their brains in. That Tiger, that is Brooks now. Brooks walks that back there. He's not stopping and chatting with people. He's just walking by with his, I think he like pulls up his shirt even higher and gets those biceps out as he's walking by. And I'm just like, whew, I know I'm intimidated. And even when I stood next to him, yeah, he's a big boy. But I was like, I think I was actually maybe even a little taller than him. I don't know, but he's definitely a lot more built than I am. So he's a stud, man. I'm super big Koepka fan. I'll tell you that.
That's awesome. That's very cool. Yeah, he's playing all that right because it's working at major championships. It's pretty outrageous. So you've got, all right, Colonial, the Charles Schwab. We're flying out there today? How are we going to keep this thing going?
Yeah, flying out. They were nice enough to give me a spot. I got that call last night. Made me cry again. And then I go back home for a little bit, and then I've been invited also to the RBC Heritage Canadian Open.
Oh, come on!
I saw that. That's awesome.
So I'm super stoked because I've watched that in the past, and it looks like it's a major. It's the Canadian Open, so it's kind of built somewhat like these courses where, you know, if you keep it in the fairway, that's your big deal, right? And so I'm really looking forward to it. And I think Colonial sets up for me too. I know it rolls out there in the fairways. It's not super long. So I've got 2 tournaments now in the books here in the next month that fit me pretty well, to be honest. And I'll tell you a cool thing is on June 5th, my son also qualified for the U.S. Open sectionals. So him and I are going to be playing against each other at Hillcrest in downtown LA for spots into the LACC event. So I think there's 90 guys for 5 spots around. So my boy and I are going to go play some practice rounds up at Hillcrest and hopefully get into, I would love to actually see him get into LA more than myself, but it'd be kind of a cool deal if both of us did.
I mean, his game's got to be insane, right? Like, what is he? How good of a player is he if he's qualifying for this?
He's easily Rory Lang, like easy.
Wow.
Yeah, and he just turned 18. Yeah, he got his 3-wood ball speed or 3-wood club speed at 133.
Oh,
yeah. He's but you know how huge that is for me. I mean, I am so used to being 50 yards behind people. It's like insane. All the guys I play with back at home bomb it by me. They're bombers. And that's all I play with. So I'm super used to it. At the beginning, when that first started happening to me, I was like super intimidated and stuff like that. Now I'm like, it doesn't even faze me. So when Rory was, you know, hitting these bombs by me, I'm just like, I was expecting, and I knew it was coming. No surprise. Yeah. So It's pretty cool, man. He's a stud, and I got my youngest son too, Ethan, who's a great player as well. And they weren't able to make it out here this week because they're in the state championships out in California right now. But yeah, I can't wait to go.
Where's he playing college golf? Where's he playing?
Oh, he's going to turn pro.
Holy shit!
Yeah,
Awesome.
he hates school. He literally hates school. So he's going to turn pro. He's not ready quite yet. I mean, he's got the ball striking in the game for it, and you would think he is, but he needs about another year or two of maturing and just learning how to score. You know, the big secret is just being able to score. It doesn't matter how great of a putter you are, how great chipper you are. If you hit it 350, if you don't know that little secret of how to just grind out scores, even with bad your C game, still be able to shoot a 72 with a C game. That's a big key in professional golf. You can't go out there and be like, man, I played pretty good and it was a 76. I mean, you're not going to be on tour for very long, I'll tell you that. So yeah, it'll be exciting to watch. I can't wait to put my glove over on the side and my clubs in the closet and just watch my boys. That'll be a dream for me.
You still got a lot to go for yourself, though. I want to see you at LACC. I don't want you to. If you have a chance to miss a putt and your son get it in, you better be draining that thing. It's all you, right? You're getting that ball in.
If it was us in a playoff, I would literally just let him.
Really? That's amazing.
I mean, of course, I say that now, but I say that now. But
oh my god,
there's no way in God's green earth because he would never ever let me live that down.
No, you gotta. He's gonna be there again. You gotta absolutely make that putt.
Yeah, it'll be cool. And then how about this one? I'm headed to Scotland on June 29th I'm in the finals of the British Open, so I'm going to that too. I'm playing at Dundonald Links in Scotland for a spot in the Open.
We played there.
We played Dundonald. We stayed there.
Yeah, I'm staying there. I'm probably dude, that looks sick.
Dude,
awesome.
Those cottages are like the coolest fucking cottages you'll ever see in your entire life. They're modern. They have like putting greens and chipping greens right behind. It was phenomenal. They have little ducks that they leave in your shower. It's so cool. So cool.
I can't wait. I literally picked the spot because there's 4 qualifiers throughout England and Scotland, and I picked it because I didn't want to be driving around. So I saw that it had cottages on property and stuff like that, and I'm like, oh, that looks sick. And I know they had the Scottish Open there a couple of years ago and stuff like that. So myself and my buddy are flying over there. He's caddying for me. We're going to go play Prestwick, which was, held the first British Open ever.
Dude, we just played there.
Did you really?
Oh, yeah. I got them all up here. I got Prestwick right there. I got Crail.
Did you get Turnberry?
Man. We didn't get Turnberry.
We did not get
first
Turnberry.
course we played on our trip last summer was Prestwick. I had a 3-iron out of bounds on that right, train tracks right there.
Oh my god!
Right in front of everybody.
Dude, we were so gassed up. First trip to Scotland for us. He had been there before, but it's like, let's fucking go. It's Prestwick. We just got the whole tour of all the history, and now it's time to tee the ball up. It's an easy first hole. It's just an iron off the first tee, and all of a sudden, Riggs takes that first swing, sails it right onto the train tracks. We're like, no,
dude.
No.
There were like 20 people on the tee too. Like the head pro's been there forever. We basically played in like the 1860 Open. Was there? Everybody's there. Airmailed the train tracks. Right?
Let me tell you something. Dundonald Links, not an easy golf course. It's a couple of hacks telling you that. Wow, the wind gets up there. We had probably the toughest day of golf of all time at Dundonald.
It was
Links.
hard.
Rain was coming in sideways. Wind was blowing like 40 miles an hour. I'm like, get me off this golf course right now. I want to go back to the shower with the ducks.
I've got 36 holes there, so in one day. So that's
going to be better than us for sure.
No, it's beautiful. There's like a back 9 stretch, I believe, that goes all like along the water. It's really cool.
Sweet.
And then there's if you get time to, they have like a little whiskey room that's right behind the bar. So like in their main restaurant, there's a specific like whiskey tasting dinner room that we did.
Bunnahabhain Scottish whiskey.
Yeah, Bunnahabhain. They have like this special whiskey. It's fucking dynamite. So if you get a little extra time, go check that spot.
Dude, they had this 30-year-old barrel that hadn't been opened yet, and specifically for Dundonald. And we're doing a whole video series there, so they're super accommodating at Dundonald. And they're like, we're gonna tap this thing open. And Frankie, come on up. I'm gonna show you the old school way, the way they used to dip this little like the container in there to see if there was enough. Because obviously after 30 years, it all evaporates, and there's only a little bit of whiskey in there. Right. So you got to dip this thing in there to see if it hits the bottom. So I'm doing it, and I'm lifting it up. And as I'm lifting it up and trying to get this chain out of there, I'm like, how much is this casket worth? And they're like, it's it's like we can't even put a price on it. It's 7 figures amount of whiskey.
Wow.
Like that's how crazy it is. And as I'm doing that, whiskey's falling all over my shoe because I couldn't get it out. You know when you go to pour something into a glass and you go too slow, it dribbles out the bottom. They're like, go, hurry up. I'm looking on the floor. I had like $12,000 worth of whiskey on the floor. They're looking at me. They're sweating. I'm like, you can't let me back here, guys. It's crazy.
It was tough.
Go try that whiskey though, because it's going to be gone at some point.
I will.
Yeah.
Great.
I love
All right, Michael Block. Well, keep this run going, man. That was so fun. You delivered one of the coolest stories in golf that I can remember since we've been doing this thing. It was emotional. I think everybody was crying. Waterworks. And you still got more golf to go. Now you got the family. I love how much you love golf. You had that great quote where you were just like, I don't think anybody in the world loves golf as much as I do. And then you're out there in the PGA Championship making aces. You're high-fiving Rory. You're celebrating with Brooks. Like, it's fucking crazy. So congratulations.
Unbelievable. I can't thank obviously you guys and everyone else enough for the support and allowing me to have fun with this whole thing and just enjoying the moment because it's so surreal. And I definitely haven't come down yet. I'm still, in cloud nine here. So I appreciate you guys and thanks for having me on.
Thanks, Michael.
Thanks for taking the time. Congratulations. Good work.
Yep. Congrats. Best of luck.
Cheers, guys.